we've got Alexa Moffa King, and we've got Layanda, who sent in these questions. The same question. And there was a third person, but none of us can remember who the third person was when we printed the question out. Okay, so it says here, let me just put it there. The diagram below represents the interaction between two important endocrine glands. Okay, so and they're telling you it's an endocrine gland. Right. The gland labeled A, that one, is found at the base of the brain, while the gland labeled C is found in the front of the neck. And we already know it is in front of the larynx, which is your voice box. It sits here like a little bow tie. Alrighty, so first thing, that is your pituitary gland. Okay, that's number one. Okay, then we've got C is the thyroid gland. All right, now the thyroid produces this hormone, and this hormone is thyroxine. And pituitary gland, to stimulate the thyroid, is going to be thyroid stimulating hormone. There we go. I mean, how absolutely awesome is that? It's easy. Okay, now it says give a label for gland A. Well, we've already done that. It's the pituitary gland. Hormone B, thyroid stimulating hormone. State two functions of hormone D. So what are the functions of thyroxine? So functions of thyroxine. Okay, so what would the functions of thyroxine be? Very, very easy. It controls basal metabolic rate. Okay, so basal means your base metabolic rate. So if your metabolism goes up or your metabolism goes down, it's controlled by the thyroid. So the thyroid's going to speed it up or slow it down. And that's what happens when people end up with what they call yo-yo dieting. You go on a diet, you lose weight, and yeah, that's all fair and well. You've now lost the weight. 2 weeks later, you go back to your normal diet and your body thinks, I've got food. And your body just stores and it stores and it stores because it's been without food, and it's panicking because it's worried you're going to put it into that same state again. And your whole metabolism just goes shh, because your body's now satisfied. It's got lots of food. It's busy storing it, and you become lazy and tired and just everything's just bleh. Okay, why? Because you've changed your metabolism, and that's the problem. You can't speed and slow and speed and slow. You have to slowly, because remember, hormones work as a general effect over a longer period of time, except adrenaline. Okay, so it controls your basal metabolic rate. Okay, that's the first thing it does. The second thing it does is it influences heart rate, because that's completely directly linked to your metabolic rate. And it influences, you can also say affects. So influences functioning of the nervous system. Okay, and that is quite important because that is your link between your nervous system and your endocrine system. They work like this. They're very happy campers, the two of them. And your nervous system, endocrine system, nerves work quickly, endo works slowly, and they just form this happy marriage inside your body and are the reason why anything and everything happens. Okay, so then it says here, oh, wait, I can think of another one. It says it also regulates body temperature. And you can say that's thermoregulation. Okay, so thermo temperature. So also for thermoregulation, and think about it, when you are working and you're training and you're cycling 50 Ks or you are running 10 kilometers, you need your thyroxine to be working. You also need your pituitary gland to be sending thyroid stimulating hormone to stimulate your thyroid so that your thyroid can increase the rate at which you're burning things. Remember, that's what thyroxine does, your metabolic rate. You want it to go up because you want the energy to run, cycle, gym, do whatever you need to do. And what happens then? You start to increase your body temperature. When you are cold, what do? We shiver. That shivering, okay, is a direct cause of thyroxine increasing the rate at which our muscles work. So all of these things work together to look after us. Right, then it says, describe the negative feedback mechanism that operates when the level of hormone D, which is thyroxine, is higher than normal. So now we've got too much thyroxine. And I'm going to do it in the shape of a what do you call, a schematic. Blah. Here we go. So that will be our point. This is our normal thyroxine level. Okay, this is normal. Now what happens? We go, zhoops, and because they said when the level is high. So the thyroxine level increases. Okay, so now it's going up. It says, whoa, 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 whoa. And that goes, remember, the thyroxine is in the blood. And when that level increases in the blood, it's going to get to the pituitary gland. And when it's at the pituitary gland, it tells the pituitary gland, hold on, and it will then release, I should have made my block bigger, release less thyroid stimulating hormone. Why? Because we don't want to stimulate the thyroid. There's already too much thyroxine. So the pituitary says, wait a minute, too much thyroxine, and that excess of thyroxine is going to inhibit the pituitary from releasing thyroid stimulating hormone. So what is inhibiting? If I close the door and I don't let you out of the room, I am stopping you. You can't go. But if the door is open and I'm holding you, but I can let go anytime, I'm holding on to you, I'm inhibiting you. So inhibiting means to hold, but just for a short period. Okay? Remember progesterone in human reproduction, high levels of progesterone inhibited the pituitary from releasing follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Okay, because you didn't want new follicles. So the progesterone stopped the pituitary from releasing FSH and LH. Now the same thing's happening here. Lots of thyroxine goes in the blood and it says to the pituitary, hold on, and it inhibits the pituitary from releasing thyroid stimulating hormone. So the result is it releases less thyroid stimulating hormone. So okay, there's less. Why am I making this so small? I'm making my life difficult here. Okay? So we have less thyroid stimulating hormone. So the result is that the thyroid, and this travels in the blood, and the thyroid gland is going to respond, and it therefore releases less thyroxine. Why? There's less thyroid stimulating hormone, so it's less stimulated. And what happens now? In the blood, now the less thyroxine is going to go in the blood, and thyroxine level decreases. And we end up back to normal. Now the opposite can also, well, I'm looking for a color, no, yellow is going to be too close. Okay, the opposite can also happen is when there's your normal thyroxine level, okay, and look at this, now thyroxine level decreases. So now we have a problem. It's decreased, okay? So it decreases, and what happens then? There's quite a little bit of thyroxine. It's low. So the pituitary gland releases more thyroid stimulating hormones. So what does that do? It's going to stimulate the thyroid. So this is in the blood, and this is in the blood. Okay? So there's more thyroid stimulating hormones. So the thyroid gland stimulated, and it therefore releases more thyroxine. Okay, so we now have an increase of thyroxine in the blood, and I'm writing blood every time so you remember it's traveling in the blood, it's a hormone. Okay, and look at this, the thyroxine level increases. Why? There's more of the stuff, and it increases, and zhoops, we're back to normal again. But now it doesn't stop there. It keeps going. So now the thyroxine level increases, okay, and it releases less thyroid stimulating hormone. We're going to end up with less thyroxine, and the level decreases, and we're back to normal. And if you understand what I've done here, and you put this into words, you have 100% for any question you can get on the way the thyroid and the pituitary work in tandem with each other, how they support each other. So let's put it in words for that last question. Look at our schematic. It's always easier to learn a schematic. The thyroxine level is normal, and it then, so we start here. Number one, thyroxine level increases, and obviously in the blood. The pituitary gland is inhibited, and therefore releases less thyroid stimulating hormone. Less thyroid stimulating hormone travels in the blood to the thyroid gland, and the thyroid gland responds by releasing less thyroxine. The thyroxine level in the blood decreases, bringing the thyroxine level back to normal. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and we are back to normal. 5 out of 5. Yay! And if they said to you a decrease in the thyroxine level, it's the other side of the schematic I've just done.